Nobody knows where Melania Trump is, and she certainly wasn't at Christmas with Donald Trump. Donald Trump tried to cover it up by using photographs from 2018. Here's the first photo that Donald Trump posted on Christmas. It's just a photo of himself that said, "Merry Christmas." And then our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, wrote, "Obviously, Trump's lawyer failed to include a joint Christmas photo op when he was renegotiating the the post-nup with Melania's lawyer." So then Donald Trump posted this photo from 2018 that said, "Merry Christmas." Our editor-in-chief of MeidasTouch.com, Ron Filipkowski, using the hashtag Where's Melania, said, "Nice try, bro. That photo is from 2018. Let me show you a video from inside of Mar-a-Lago right now. No Melania in sight, but I want to make a broader, more important point. Play this clip. And it's just so obvious that Melania truly views Donald Trump as vile. I mean, who wouldn't view someone as vile who does this?
And they're proud, they're clapping, they're going crazy. I can't do it, Mom, I can't. Mom.
And does this.
And just bad news, bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry.
I mean, by the way, that's part of the speech that he gives. That's his stump speech where he tries to attack transgendered people by giving this example of someone lifting weights. I don't even understand what he's doing, but he does that, what you just saw in most of his speeches. Can we just reflect on a moment how much Melania hates Donald Trump? Like, do you remember when she was walking with him when he was disgracing the office and she was like, "Get your hand off of me"? Do you remember this video? Play this clip. Or do you remember this moment where Melania had another moment like that with Donald Trump as they welcomed French President Macron with his wife, Brigitte? Play this clip. Or how about this other moment where Melania Trump slapped at Donald Trump's hand? Play this clip. Or also this video where she looked truly repulsed at him. Play this clip. And by the way, it is worth noting that hashtag Trump smells was trending #1 on the Christmas holiday weekend. One of the things that Page 6 New York Post had previously reported was that Melania Trump was quietly renegotiating her prenuptial agreement with Donald Trump ahead of his second run that he was doing. And then it says, sources tell Page 6 that Melania has quietly renegotiated her prenuptial agreements with Donald Trump in advance of his potentially serving a second term. That's not going to happen. An insider told us the agreement between the couple who married in 2005 over the last year. Melania and her team have been quietly negotiating a new post-nup agreement between herself and Donald Trump. The source further added this is at least the third time Melania has renegotiated the terms of her marital agreement. So interesting to see such a transactional, fraudulent relationship from the biggest fraud family to ever disgrace our country. And by the way, you want to see how Donald Trump treated his first wife. You see why Melania needs to negotiate the way she does. This is how he treated his first wife, Ivana. Ivana Trump's cordoned-off grave is barely visible in a completely overgrown area in Trump's 506-acre Bedminster, New Jersey golf course. And there you see Ivana's grave at the Bedminster estate has become overgrown with grass and is barely visible. This was a report from the Daily Mail back in August of 2023. Ivana is buried at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, where the families often spend their summers together. And I believe Donald Trump had turned part of Bedminster, or this back area, into a cemetery for the purposes of getting additional potential tax incentives for doing so. We put out this meme on MeidasTouch, where's Melania now? And it's worth just comparing, though, because for all of these MAGA Republicans who want to attack everybody and act like they're holier than thou and say, oh, family values this, family values that. This is, I mean, you have in Donald Trump someone who was found liable for rape in a civil case in New York in this bizarro transactional relationship where no one even sees Melania, and he has to post photos from 2018 to give Christmas messages.
By now you may know I'm going to be a dad. See, we build up our lives with bright moments of joy, pride, and success. And however you define those moments, securing your future should be part of the journey. The things we build our future around are things worth protecting. Making an estate plan now means gaining security of your assets and peace of mind for you and your loved ones. With Trust and Will, you can create and manage a custom estate plan starting at just $159. Go to trustandwill.com/Meidas for 10% off plus free document shipping. I know from my own experience that estate planning through other means can be an incredibly difficult process and often costing thousands of dollars. But Trust and Will, it makes it easy, super simple, and streamlines the entire process from A to Z. Trust and Will's website is incredibly easy to navigate, and the process is very straightforward. And one of the best parts is that after working with Trust and Will, you'll have peace of mind that your assets and wishes are secure. Trust and Will has simplified the process of creating and managing your will or trust online, from finding out what's right for your family to finalizing documents with a notary. Ensure your family and loved ones avoid lengthy, expensive legal proceedings or the state deciding what happens to your assets. Trust and Will has made estate planning accessible and affordable. Live customer support is available through phone, chat, and email. Get the peace of mind you deserve by creating your estate plan with Trust and Will. Secure your assets and protect your loved ones with Trust and Will. Get 10% off plus free shipping of your estate plan documents by visiting trustandwill.com/Meidas. That's 10% off and free shipping at trustandwill.com/Meidas.
So just compare it. Here's President Biden and Jill Biden. This Christmas, Jill and I spoke with some of the brave military members who are spending their holidays away from home. This Christmas Eve, Jill and I got to speak with some excited young Americans who happen to be very curious about the whereabouts of Santa Claus. Thankfully, NORAD Santa confirmed that St. Nick is on his way. Jill and I had the honor of spending the afternoon at Children's National Hospital, reading some of the strongest kids and parents there are. Our hearts are with them this Christmas. Jill and I hope you are able to spend time with your loved ones this holiday season. During this time, we're also thinking of the brave women and men in uniform who defend our nation, many of them and their families. We wish you joy and happiness this Christmas Eve. I mean, by the way, better than Donald Trump's Christmas messages where he says to his political opponents to rot in hell. This is what he says. Merry Christmas to all, including crooked Joe Biden's only hope, deranged Jack Smith, out of control, lunatic. And then he goes on to say that his political opponents in America are more dangerous than dictators and authoritarians abroad. And then he says about his political opponents here in the United States, may they rot in hell. Donald Trump's other Christmas message. It's hard to have a truly great Christmas when you have a crooked and incompetent president who wants to put his political opponents in jail. Madness and doom, MAGA 2024. And then his other post, 2024 will go down as the year of great and fully coordinated illegal election interference by crooked Joe Biden. And he goes on to say, Merry Christmas to all, as Robert Reich points out. As a Christmas Day message, Trump told his perceived enemies to, quote, rot in hell as part of a lengthy tirade. If you had a family member who went on rants like this, you would be having very difficult conversations about what sort of assisted living facility would be most appropriate. Take a look at this as well. This is, you may recall this moment from the 2020 debate where at the end of it, you see Dr. Jill Biden give Joe Biden a big hug, and Melania doesn't even want to be around Donald Trump. Here, play this clip.
Thank you.
And then you know this is a major issue for kind of Donald Trump and his team because they had to run to page 6 to try to have kind of their right-wing media massage this issue a little bit and make it seem better than it is and put out sources that say Melania is going to be really helpful in 2024. She's going to be a major part of things because she obviously isn't. This is what it says. Melania Trump to step up public appearances for Donald in 2024. Quote, time to leave her mark on history. She can't even speak for herself, so they have sources who's probably Donald Trump or Donald Trump's spokesperson say this to page 6. And they go, in a time when no one knows where Melania even is and like she doesn't show up anywhere, really, look for more Melania in 2024. A source tells page 6 that after Donald Trump scored a recent Supreme Court victory in his federal election subversion case, Trump and his family are so secure that he will become president again that insiders at Mar-a-Lago say he's reached an agreement with wife Melania to step up top-tier diplomatic appearances in 2024. One source added, the immediate family, including Melania, is solidly behind the former president. I mean, what a pathetic article. How pathetic can you even be to have to put out an article like this? And then it goes, after Donald Trump scored a recent Supreme Court victory. If you think that is a victory, is that a victory? The Supreme Court temporarily denied certiorari on a direct appeal of Donald Trump's appeal. Donald Trump opposed his own appeal going to the Supreme Court because Donald Trump wants to delay because he knows he's going to lose. Under no circumstances is that a win unless you calculate a win buying a 30 more day to 45 more day delay. And if that's your definition of a win, that your own appeal, remember, it's Trump who is appealing because the district court judge denied his motion to dismiss on the grounds of absolute presidential immunity. So Trump appealed to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and Jack Smith said, look, let's just fast track this Supreme Court. Why don't you hear Donald Trump's appeal right now if Donald Trump's so confident he's going to win? And then Donald Trump argued to the Supreme Court, no, don't hear it right now. Let's go through the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. And the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals fortunately expedited the briefing So I think the Supreme Court was just like, let's just see what the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeal does first, and then we'll ultimately decide whether or not we're going to get involved in this thing. But that's their recent Supreme Court victory. I mean, they just put out the dumbest things to their supporters. It's just a bunch of filth and stupidity over and over again, and just again the type of propaganda that would make North Korea blush right here. I mean, that's how incredibly embarrassing is. And this from Raw Story. Nobody knows where she is. Melania's whereabouts, a mystery to Mar-a-Lago regulars. According to the author of the book, Mar-a-Lago, Inside the Gates of Power, at Donald Trump's presidential palace, former First Lady Melania is rarely seen, if at all, at the Mar-a-Lago resort she and her husband Donald Trump now call home. In an interview with Telegraph, author and Palm Beach resident Lawrence Leamer said Melania used to be seen regularly on the grounds, but has been missing as of late and has become subject of speculation among regular visitors, with the report stating prior to becoming First Lady, Mrs. Trump would reportedly often be cited by Mar-a-Lago members, particularly in the club's beauty parlor. These days, however, residents in the wealthy island enclave say she is rarely seen in public. Nobody knows where she is. It's like a mystery. It is certainly talked about. Well, what I want to talk about right here is how you have, between Donald Trump and Melania, a very transactional, fraudy relationship, and connected to the broader points of every single thing. Everything from his marriage to his properties to his positions on everything's a fraud. Everything is completely, made up and a lie. And then you just compare it to the alternative, and it's somebody in President Biden who's humble, who doesn't shove in your face his religious convictions, but as someone who has deep religious convictions, but understands the separation of church and state. He's there with his family and supportive of his community. He was by his son during the darkest times of his son's life. I mean, character matters. Character matters. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch and have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.